Welcome. Welcome back to Screen Fiend. And as you can see it here, there is Rey holding her lightsaber at the end of episode 9. She constructed a new lightsaber out of her staff. Which proves she is ready. Now, for a live action Star Wars movie, I'm here to tell you that Disney is probably done doing a live Star Wars movie for a while. The most Star Wars series we're going to see are going to be from the past, like The Mandalorian. See, I have a lot of shocking information that's coming up about Star Wars lore. Which paved the way for what we see here today. And it wasn't by design. George Lucas just didn't give a damn. I mean, that's what he was thinking when he was making it, is like, well, I didn't give a damn. Like Yoda's backstory, Yoda was only created because, let me tell you the reason Yoda was created by George Lucas. I got the video made and everything, but I might as well tell you here. Yoda was created to advance the movie. Luke needed a teacher still. And they had just killed off Obi-Wan Kenobi, but he needed another physical character to do the teaching. The reason why Obi-Wan was killed in the first Star Wars was because a lot of the action scenes, or a lot of the scenes that was written, he's just standing around. They had nothing for him to do. So they're like, well, we really don't have pretty much, for him to do. So let's just kill the character off and have him be like an overseer through the Force, through Luke's head. Because other than that, it's, he'd just be standing around. But in the sequel, they knew they needed Luke to have some physical presence to train him. So the addition of Yoda was really just a lucky shot that worked out for them. Because a lot of them were debating, should they just have a spirit ghost of Obi-Wan teach him? But having some character you knew nothing about coming in actually worked out for him. What's up, Blair Rudolph? Now, let's see how this plays into today's time. The Mandalorian. The mystery still continues. We know nothing about Yoda's species. We know nothing about really where we know he's from Dagobah. Well, we don't even know if he's from there. We know that's just where he went to reside and go into hiding, but we still don't really know too much about Yoda's backstory. So now that we see another creature that looks like Yoda in the Mandalorian series, we're still left with these questions, but people are engaged. So one incident that was done that really didn't have anything to do with anything ended up meaning everything. And now we're having that here, except for in episode 10, 11, and 12, they already have their story written. Rey! 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 I mean, dude, that's like his entire role is reduced to him screaming Rey. That's almost worse than Lethal Weapon. Every Lethal Weapon of Danny Glover yelling Riggs. Riggs! Riggs! I mean, in part three, I swear he yelled Riggs for like about 5 minutes straight. Where you at, Riggs? Riggs! Riggs! So episode 10, 11, and 12 will be animated. We don't know what part or how they're going to do the animation, but at some point it's going to be animated. Daisy Ridley is supposed to do the voice over for the character of Rey and return doing the voice of Rey. Poe Dameron will not be in 10, 11, and 12, as he's going to be reportedly leading a rebellion unit or a pilot unit somewhere on another side of the galaxy. He has no parts of 10, 11, and 12. There's going to be a lot of new characters. Rey is going to be teaching Jedi to a bunch of the Force kids that the First Order had captured and was going to incorporate them into the dark side, as being the new stormtroopers. So she's going to be teaching this new order of Jedi. And of course, there's an adversary in the Force. She's going to fall in love with a young, handsome Force ability user. But she doesn't know he's a Force ability user at first because she cannot detect the Force with him. Come to find out, he's going to be a love interest of Rey. But she's going to find out that it is her grandfather, Emperor Palpatine. That's right, Emperor Palpatine in another form, in a younger body, younger form. Now, I don't know if this is 10, 11, and 12. This is how the story is written out. So I don't know how they're going to divulge this over three animated films. There's a new character that's going to come in and reprise their voice. Anakin Skywalker will be included in this series. Hayden Christensen has signed on to do a voice acting part in this animated. Yes, 10, 11, and 12 will be animated and on Disney Plus only. It will not be coming to theaters. It's Disney Plus only. And it will be animation, and it's going to continue the story of Rey. And we don't know, but see, here's the thing. We don't know if they're going to call it episode 10, 11, and 12. It's just that the story is going to continue on Disney Plus in animation. So by the time they do 10, 11, and 12, we have no idea where they're going to be and how far deep in the story they're going to be before they actually go back to a movie theatrical way of doing it. But by then, they feel like using the streaming network to set up the movie premieres will be a lot better. Kathleen Turner believed that she hurt the movie Solo by releasing it so close to Star Wars. Always lift one. I'm always grinding. But now the hearing that Hayden Christensen is coming back some type of way, and he signed on to do voice acting. So I don't know if it's just a one scene or how many scenes, but from what I told, he's gonna be back in a big way. Ahsoka is going to be played by Rosario Dawson in the new Mandalorian series. So that goes to show you that Ahsoka, who did die originally in episode 3 by General Grievous, that scene was cut and removed from the film. So they're treating it as if it never happened. Well, The Rise of Skywalker is an enjoyable film. It's not a film that's awful. It's enjoyable. It's just that if you're following the trilogy, it kind of don't follow this format. Like I've never seen a trilogy so far off. It's like The Force Awakens and the Rise of Skywalker are connected, but The Last Jedi is a standalone film. All three don't feel connected. And then the ultimate change of direction of the script. Well, that did have an effect. Even though, for my own personal views, I wanted to see the Emperor come back. I love to see the Emperor back, but he really shouldn't have been back. It just derailed the character of Kylo Ren and reduced him to nothing. They made him a minion again. When I'm like, he just defeated his master. Now he's got a new master to defeat again. It's like, what? Where are we going? Now I'm stuck. And then this is why Colin was fired. And I knew why. And they took pieces of his script and kept it. And it just was not even needed. You might as well just create something completely new because you just ruined basically the entire movie and saga. And I'm quite sure he leaked the script out so that the general public can see he had a much better script than what they came out and put in the movie theaters. But that doesn't mean that was going to resonate the dollars, but it would have made more sense and connected more to the Last Jedi than this did. Um, so initially, and I don't know how this stuff gets leaked out. I think somebody wants this destroyed. That's probably why they leaked it out to the public. That raised the plot of everything. Disney have a lot of people over there with a lot of loose lips. But Rey is working for the Jedi. I mean, she's working with the building her own Jedi Academy and teaching those kids that were in the First Order who, rebelled and had Force abilities. And a lot of people had Force abilities and was Force sensitive and didn't know it. So we did find out that um, another person that signed on to do the script. Hey, what's up, Steven? And a person that did sign up is not John Boyega has not signed up to reprise the roles of Finn. Not saying that he won't. He's just not signed up to do voice acting. But Rose is. Rose is signed up to do it. So she might have a bigger part here in this Star Wars lore. Well, a lot of people want to see Rey move forward. They want to see the character move forward. But now you have a major problem because Rey is now a full-fledged on all aboard Jedi, meaning that she's 100% on board. She knows her destiny. She has the legacy in the name of Skywalker. See, in the original script, she was always going to be a Skywalker, but she was a clone of Skywalker. And she was going to find that out from her parents that she was a clone. She's the child of a clone. Her parents were cloned out of Skywalker DNA, and she was born in the midst of that. So her parents, all that escaping the empire and all that stuff, and they lived basically as common people. All of that was true. They tried to detach themselves, and they weren't force sensitive. But Rey, she's born with all the gifts. and Kylo Ren and her was going to have an ultimate fight in which she goes gets him to come back to the light right before he dies. And that was how the story was going to end with her and Kylo Ren. She's going to get him to turn back to Ben. There was no other bad guy. He was the bad guy who was kidnapping children who were force sensitive. That script made more sense. There was more of a battle between Rey and Rose in the script. Like she was jealous of her and Finn's relationship, and to the point where she was basically cut out completely from the movie. Poe Dameron and his love affair, and their having a romance with Poe, that was all removed. And this is why Oscar Isaacs is not coming back. He's not doing anything more with Disney as far as Star Wars. He's out because they changed his character, and I mean, total 180 from what his character was in the first movie and the second. Yeah, well, people have different opinions about it, but I was always secure with the direction it went in. But adding Anakin Skywalker back to the Star Wars lore, you know, getting rid of who, Kylo Ren, in the fashion that they did chose to go down, it was quite disappointing what they had with his character. With so much promise, it all went left once he took the mask off. The Kylo Ren character worked every time he had the mask on. When he took the mask off, that's when he lost a lot of his identity. So I think more and more as people look over it in the past years, like when it gets older, they'll appreciate it more. Like more people now appreciate Anakin Skywalker and the portrayal that was done by Hayden Christensen. They don't hate it as much. They don't hate the prequels as much now. Now that you got another Star Wars to come out, they're like, hey, you know what? Prequels weren't quite bad. They never were. People just love to have something to hate against or root against. They were using this to go against the old ones. Now they're comparing these to the new ones and saying, hey, the prequels are great. But I know some people that like this trilogy better than the prequels. I'm not one of them. I'm someone that really loved the prequels. This rewrite that should have never existed made zero sense in entire Star Wars lore, even as like why her life force was removed once the Emperor died and she got brought back by Kylo Ren. This happened in the original script, and when they supposed to fight each other, he does something to save her life when he turns back to the light, and he passes away when he was a character of importance. Now they made him just like a side piece character just to support Rey and then bow out when he's the last Skywalker. They made him very obsolete. Well, her epic showdown with the Emperor showed us a lot of different things. Something that should have never been in Star Wars lore, shouldn't have been, period. Anyway, they're not telling us who the other villain is, but in this script, she's going to be confronting someone with the essence of the Emperor. But she's going to fall in love with him first, then realize that he is the Emperor. So basically, she's going to be making out and sleeping with her grandfather. Star Wars and their incest, man. What is it? Are we ready for what's to come in new Star Wars lore? Are you ready for new Rey in this animated series?